What's up, party people, and welcome back to another episode of NYC Foodways, your weekly food and culture discussion from the cultural capital of the world. My name is John, and this week's episode is dedicated to Professor Kevin Esch, who showed me how to read a film. This week on NYC Foodways, we turn our hungry eyes to the documentary Garlic is as Good as 10 Mothers, a movie that packs in a ton of flavor despite a cooking time of only 51 minutes. Garlic is as Good as 10 Mothers is directed by Les Blank, an artist so relevant to the interests of NYC Foodways that if he did not exist, it would be necessary to invent him. The marginal documentarian's marginal documentarian, Blank spent his career recording the best of this country's cultural pathways and is a figure we are certain to return to in future episodes. Garlic is as Good as 10 Mothers is about garlic in the same way that Moby Dick is about whaling. This film covers a kaleidoscopic range of garlic-adjacent foodways, Italian-American cooking in the Bay Area, the peasant cuisine of Civil War-era Spain, the migratory flavors of African-American barbecue, and so much more. Of course, Alice Waters is here. Chez Panisse' annual Bastille Day Garlic Festival plays an outsized role in the narrative, and she drops gem after gem after garlic gem. Waters divides garlic lovers into three categories. Those who love it for its curative and mystical, yes, she uses the word mystical, properties. Those who love it because they find it to be an essential ingredient in cooking, and those who love it because they grow it. Waters calls garlic special and enticing and states that garlic is something that can't be ignored. You either like it or you don't like it, and it causes you to react in some way. Les Blank features people who certainly react to garlic in some way, including but not limited to the off-screen voice that claims, incredibly, that garlic appeals to people who are really passionate about life and aren't imprinted with too much civilized behavior. I adore this quote and demand to know what civilized behavior she could possibly be referring to. Unmistakably compelling claimants abound in the film, like the guy who claims that eating a lot of garlic imbues the eater with the power to whip their weight in wildcats, and that garlic consumption provides a so-called grounded euphoria, that you're a part of the world but not apart from it, or something. Other characters in this film are so vivid they are impossible to describe without actually seeing them move on screen, but I'll do my best to paint a picture here. The seemingly ageless Spaniard Anzonini del Puerto, described as a festero elsewhere, busts out multiple songs and dances related to the apparently amorous nature of garlic. This dude has so much swag that he could probably make a song about lead paint sound amorous. It's almost too much to believe, but hey, the guy's right there, singing and dancing about garlic, performing some badass ancient folk music that's probably been eradicated from the face of this dying planet in the 42 years since the film was released. Anyway, also featured here is Lloyd John Harris, publisher of garlic-related printed matter and style icon, who takes a more socio-political angle towards the rise of garlic in recent years. All of the old structures that have held America together are falling apart, he says. Politically, religious-wise, in every category, everything is falling apart and people are looking to the old ways, the traditional, folk, basic, historical roots of what it is to be a human being, and garlic figures very substantially in that. Seems reasonable. Incredibly, Werner Herzog comes out of absolutely fucking nowhere to discuss the absence of garlic from his film Nosferatu. I actually felt my jaw drop when he appeared on screen the first time I saw this movie. Linking Herzog to garlic, talk about fusion cuisine. Hi-yo! Willie Nelson's lusty Parisian doppelganger makes an appearance to regale us with a charming anecdote about the garlic usage of the beautiful young, dark-haired women of the south of France. And no Criterion Collection film with such a devoted fan base would be complete without Soviet montage theory, and at one point, the visual tap-tap-tapping of garlic being ground with mortar and pestle is intercut with audio of the aforementioned Anzonini executing rhythmic percussive stomps. A.O. Scott could never. Observing chefs and cooks from the late 1970s prepare and use garlic in myriad ways is a thing of beauty and a refreshing analog break from the ubiquity of digital YouTube cooking and food videos. The dishes made in Garlic is as Good as 10 Mothers are far-ranging, and I will rate them here based on the urge I had to take a bite out of the nearest food source whenever they were pictured on screen. They include an Italian-American gravy with garlic, thin-cut steak fried with garlic, traditional southern barbecue served in Oakland, California, a simple garlic and tomato sandwich, roast suckling pig raised on garlic milk and stuffed with garlic, baked chicken absolutely smothered in garlic paste, heads of garlic topped with butter and roasted until spreadable, Spanish chorizo, heavy on the garlic and paprika, stir-fried chicken with garlic, pesto of course, sautéed calamari with garlic and herbs, roast chicken stuffed with garlic and vegetables and sealed in a bread crust, so-called Yucatan fish, heavy with achiote and garlic, lastly figs, garlic, and orange peel steeped in wine, honey, and herbs. The music of Garlic is as Good as 10 Mothers is as wonderful, global, and eclectic as any other part of the movie, and much of it was recorded live during the shooting of the film. Are you aware that the plaintive singing of Cajun folk music is the perfect accompaniment to garlic cookery and have made at least one viewer feel that the musicians were speaking directly to his soul? In the final section of the film, Blank turns his lens to those that do the actual cultivation, harvesting, and processing of garlic and shows us, gently, where his heart lies on certain matters. Garlic is as Good as 10 Mothers is a quiet masterpiece, a sublime syncretic foodways compendium that manages to elegantly blend several centuries' worth of food and culture with dozens of folk pathways through agriculture, medicine, herbalism, cinema, politics, and so much more. It's less than an hour long, but is one of the most nutritionally dense films I've ever seen. And as the old saying goes, the fun of garlic is in the peeling of the clove. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for another episode of NYC Foodways. Peace.